Usually I'm pretty good at controlling myself with new launches, but there have been so many new launches recently that just seem like they're right up my alley. They're from brands that I like. It's a product that I like. So I've bought a few of them. Some I've received in PR, and today I just want to talk about all of these pretty much new blushes. This is going to be a video all about blushes pretty much, but that is my new favorite part of my makeup routine, so I'm excited. Let me just give you a quick rundown of the products I'm going to talk about today. I will leave some timestamps down below if you want to jump around to a specific product. I got the new Huda Beauty liquid blush filters. We got the Lawless cream blushes, the NYX Buttermelt blushes and bronzer, the Luminous Rare Beauty blushes, the Danessa Myricks Lowlighter, the Makeup by Mario bronzing serum, a Kosas baked blush, the Bare Minerals liquid highlighting blushes, the liquid bronzers, the Too Faced contour sticks, the Patrick Ta highlighters. We have a lot of products to talk about today, and I will be swatching and applying everything to my face today and just going to give you my in-depth thoughts on all of these new launches. First, I'm going to start with the Huda Beauty liquid blush filters. Now, I did receive these blushes in PR, and I kept 4 out of the 5 shades, which is actually pretty good for me because whenever I get a product in PR and there's like multiple shades, I'm very picky about which shades I decide to keep, because why would I keep all of the shades if a specific shade just doesn't speak to me and I know I won't use it? So the one shade I didn't keep, I think, is the Black Cherry one. This is Cotton Candy, Strawberry Cream, Watermelon Pop, and Peach Sorbet. So when I very first tried this product, I used the lightest shade Cotton Candy, and I actually did not like it at first, but I realized it's just because of the shade. This shade is very, very light, and it wasn't really showing up on my skin tone, even though I am kind of fair to light. And I really thought that there wasn't a lot of product coming off on the applicator, which is kind of true, but it is easy to build up and add more. But the 3 kind of deeper shades I really have been loving: Watermelon Pop, Strawberry Cream, and Peach Sunset. Strawberry Cream has definitely become my most used because it does lean a little bit more on the kind of neutral pink, but these liquid blushes are so stinking cute. I love the packaging. I love how the color looks just like the color on the inside. That matters a lot to me when I'm grabbing a blush. These are very easy to use. Like when you put a dot on your cheek, it's not going to leave a stain of that dot left over. It blends out so nicely. It's really easy to add more on top. They also just smell amazing, and I found that these actually do work pretty well on top of powder. These liquid blushes have definitely been a hit for me. The next cream blushes I want to talk about are the Lawless cream blushes, and I did receive these in PR as well. Now, I did post a whole short of me swatching out these entire shades, so I'll link that down below if you want to check it out. So I'm not going to re-swatch them because I've already done it and shown you. And because I did that swatch video, I did end up keeping all 6 shades. We have Starburst, Gumdrop, Angel, Rosebud, Cherry Pie, and Valentine. So my 2 most used shades from this line are Starburst and Gumdrop. I love the peachy tone that Starburst has, and surprisingly, I've really been liking this more cool tone pink that has been just really popular over the last year or so. I just really like the little flush that it gives my cheeks, and I find that I'm wearing this shade more if I'm doing more of a cool toned eyeshadow look or just something very soft. And it's funny because when I got these blushes in PR, I thought that these 2 would be my favorite shades. We have Angel and Rosebud. I thought I would like these 2 shades more just because they do lean more neutral, but I think I like the fun little pop of the peach and the pink. And then the 2 shades that really aren't my cup of tea are Cherry Pie and Valentine. These are just such bright, kind of cool toned, deeper pinks. Like, these are just really not my vibe, but I know some people love these shades. And as far as the formula goes, I think they're good cream blushes, but like, that's kind of it. There's nothing like spectacular or revolutionary about them. They're just a solid cream blush. They honestly kind of remind me of the Sigma cream blushes, and they also have a very, very similar packaging. Like, can you tell me which brand is which? This is Lawless, this is Sigma. Like, they're just a good cream blush. That's kind of it. So I think these blushes would be good for someone who is maybe newer to cream blush. They kind of want to dip their toes in it and just want like a reliable formula that's going to look good on the cheeks. I would definitely apply this product after your foundation. I tried this on top of powder in my recent Bright Besties video, and it went terribly wrong. It does not work on top of powder. Yeah, so overall, I think they're good. They're not amazing, but they're not bad. They're just like right in the middle. Next product I want to talk about, I really haven't heard anyone else talking about, and it is the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder Lowlighter. Now, I was actually influenced by my friend Mario. His tag is Mario Artistry on Instagram and TikTok, but he posted a video about these, and specifically this pink one. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to try that. And I also wanted to buy this because I haven't really tried a lot of Danessa Myricks products. I think I've tried like the clear version of the blurring balm powder, and that didn't really work for me. I know people really like her Yummy Skin foundation. I think there's a primer too that people like. The Groundworks palette, They don't really stand out to me. I don't think I would like it. So I haven't tried much from the brand, but when I saw this, I was like, ooh, I think I'm gonna like that. I gotta read this whole name to you. It is the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Low Lighter Soft Glow Highlighter. Did you get that? So all of the shades lean deep. Like there's no like a champagne or like a light kind of color. So that's why I kind of view these more as like a highlighting blush balm. And I did buy the lightest looking pink shade, and that is Unbothered. So I like to use this product kind of more on the very tip top of my cheekbone, kind of where like my under eye is connecting to my blush, just to give it a little bit of that pink tint, but also the glow that this product has is so, so pretty. How about this? I'm gonna pop on the Lawless Cream Blush in Angel, kind of more of like a muted pink color, nothing too exciting, but a really good like everyday cream blush. Okay, so there I have my cream blush on. It's really pretty, but I want to add something a little bit more exciting. So I'll take the balm on a tip of a dry sponge, just like a little bit like that. And then I'll just kind of hit this higher point of my cheekbone. Do you like see that pink? It's so pretty. So it really is just like a pink glowy highlighter, and to me it really does look like it kind of smooths out the skin. I think that's kind of like the Yummy Skin purpose in her products. I realized that I haven't tried this blush all over my face, so since I'm sitting here just taking my makeup on and off, I want to try it. It might go terribly wrong, but I'm doing this for science. Okay, I don't think it's as bad as I thought it would be all over. I do think it's pretty all over, but I think I prefer it like pinpointed on top of another blush. But I don't really think that this product is for everyone. I don't think everyone's gonna like it just because it is very glowy, but I think it'd be good for someone if you're like me and you're just really loving layering up blushes. This is a really fun layering blush. We are moving right along. Next is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum. Now, this product I did buy myself, and I bought it because I am just a sucker for Makeup by Mario. They really are a brand that I like, and I do like most of the products that he comes out with. I like his Surreal Skin Foundation, the concealer, the eyeshadow palette. I use his foundation brush. This is the brush I've been using so much for my foundation on this side and cream products on this side. I love, love, love the Skin Enhancer, the kind of more balmy bronzer. So when he came out with this, I was like, immediately yes. And I got the shade light medium because I use light medium in this, so I guess I thought they would kind of correspond and match, right? I actually haven't seen how close the shades are. I want to test that out really quick. Okay, interesting. So here is the balm, here is the liquid version. I feel like the balm is slightly more cool toned, whereas the liquid one has just like a bit more yellow in it. So one cool thing about this product is that there are actually two ways to apply it. First, there is the doe foot applicator, which looks like that, or you can just go the pump way. And initially I thought that I was gonna prefer the doe foot application, but I really don't like it because it just kind of picks up product weird and doesn't really distribute it nicely. I mean, let me show you. That's the point of this, right? So let's say I would take this and kind of do like a couple dots there. Let's do a couple swipes down here. I'm liking this brush. This is the Sigma F11 Soft Sculpt brush. And just kind of blend in that bronzer. So this is very, very serum-y, where it's not going to be like super full coverage. It really does give you a natural bronze. And if you do it this way, it is very, very subtle, which I think some people would really like. But what I like to do is do a pump on the back of my hand, and then I'll take that brush and I'll kind of work the product into my brush using the back of my hand. So my hand kind of looks like that, and now all the product is in the bristles. Then I'll do this side and just kind of bronze it up. I just feel like this way is a little bit faster. I feel like it gets me a little bit bronzier, but it really is pretty if you do like that bronzed look. And this product really is meant to be light coverage, so I think it is really nice for the summer if you just want to pop on like a tinted moisturizer and then this for a little bit of bronziness. But if you were to ask me which one do I like more, I think I'd go with the Skin Enhancer. I just really like the balm consistency of this. I think it blends beautifully, and I just kind of prefer a compact overall. So for me, I feel like this is another product where I'm like, yeah, it's good. I can see myself using it, especially in the summer, but I don't think it's something you necessarily need to go go run out and grab. But if you're looking for a soft bronze in a liquid product, I think you would really like it. I'm gonna keep that bronzer on while I talk about the next blush, and it is the Kosas Blushes Live to Bake blushes, and I bought one shade, and that is Dreamland. Now these blushes were leaked like over a year ago, so I know a lot of us were just like waiting for these Kosas baked blushes, and I was really excited to try this because I do really like their Cloud Set powder. I've gone through like 3 of those, so I was like, ooh, if they make a blush, I'm probably gonna like it. And before I bought this shade, I did watch Kelly's swatch video, and she swatched, I want to say it's like 6 or 8 shades. She like swatched them all over her face, and a lot of them looked really similar. So Dreamland is described as a rosy bronze, and this blush is supposed to give you a radiant finish because it is a baked blush. Now I really love the color of this, but I'm still kind of figuring out the best way that I like to apply this, because sometimes I found if I apply it on top of like a set base, sometimes I feel like I don't get a lot of color payoff, and it like has a hard time sitting on top of a powdered face. So I kind of just want to try this on top of what I have on my skin right now, which is just foundation, concealer, and that Mario bronzer. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up that blush on my Sigma F12, and let's see how this applies on top of an unset base. And it's actually laying really nicely on top of those cream products. Okay. And you can see that it definitely does give a little bit of a radiant look to it. It's not like a matte blush or anything. I do really like that color that I chose. I think it is so pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. And what I've done with this blush too, because it is a rosy bronze color, is if I'm doing like no eyeshadow that day, I'll actually put this shade in my crease just for a little bit of definition, a little bit of color, and it's like perfect for that because it's a rosy bronze. And that is the Kosas Baked Blush in Dreamland. Next is a product that I feel like everyone is talking about right now, and people are not very happy with it, and it is the Patrick Ta highlighter. I only bought one shade of this, and I bought the pink shade Baby. I was so excited for this launch. You guys know how much I love his blushes, specifically the shade Not Too Much. It is like my #1 blush at the moment, and Patrick Ta is known for how good his little duos are with the cream, with the powder, the layering method. It's usually stunning. And when he announced these highlighters, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to try this. I knew I was immediately gonna buy one. So Patrick is very clear about the formula of these highlighters, how it's not meant to be a blinding glowy highlight. It is more of a translucent formula with a little bit of color in there that's gonna give you a very soft glowy highlight, nothing like we've seen in 2016. But what I noticed was interesting is when I was looking at the swatches of these on Sephora's website, you know, the swatches on the models and on the arms, they do look very glowy, and I have tried to swatch mine to get it to look like that, and my highlighter does not look like his swatches. I think you can see the swatch. This is the cream, this is the powder. Yeah. It's pretty disappointing. Let's put this on the face and talk about it. I'm pretty sure I've seen Patrick say that it's best to use this on an unset base, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this on top of that Kosas blush. And Patrick's method for his little duos are to do the powder first and the cream second. So let me just show you a swatch of this pink here. Okay, that actually looks pretty good in that swatch. Like, do you see what I mean? It's like barely showing up. Okay, I'm gonna turn down my lighting here just a little bit. It's just very subtle, but again, it does not look like his swatches of the product. So I'm gonna take my highlighter brush, swirl some of that powder, and let's try it right here on the tippity top of my cheekbone. So I believe there were 6 shades of this, and I bought this shade. Again, I love layering my blushes, and I wanted a pinky toned highlighter that would like blend really nicely with my blushes. I'm gonna add a little bit more. It's a little tricky to tell like what is the glow of this product and what is the glow of just like my unset base, but I am seeing it in person. It is very subtle. I'm gonna go back to my sponge and pick up some of that cream. Again, this is a dry sponge, and you just wanna put a little bit of this kind of on the highest point where you want to kind of transform the highlight, is what he says. I'm just not blown away by it. I don't know, I'm so confused on my thoughts on this product. Like when I apply it, I'm like, sure, it's fine. And like it's glowy. Again, there's nothing on this side, but it's not Patrick Ta quality amazingness that I'm used to. Also, the cream does feel just kind of sticky. It feels like you're gonna get your hair stuck to it. I mean, I don't have that problem, which is great for me, but it is a thick feeling cream that does feel kind of like Vaseline when you swatch it. So I don't know. I'm still just conflicted on this product, and like, Looking side by side, I'm not like, oh my gosh, this side looks so much better. And I know he said these are supposed to be translucent, but I really wish I could see a little bit of this pinky tone because it would be so pretty. I kind of want to try the cream with my finger. I really wanted to love this product, but out of everything I'm talking about today, this is like really, really low on the list. I honestly wouldn't recommend it. Don't buy this. Oh, that hurts to say. Next product is the Too Faced Melting Bronzing and Sculpting Stick. Now, I think these launched maybe a month or two ago, but I did just receive them in PR. But this comes in 4 shades. I have the 2 lightest shades, Chocolate Mousse and Chocolate Souffle. Yes, this is Chocolate Mousse. This is Chocolate Souffle. Not really much of a shade difference there. I feel like we could have had a shade that was even lighter than that first one. And they do smell like chocolate, which I don't really like. I don't want my makeup to smell like chocolate. I want to smell like sweet candy, sure, that's fine, but like chocolate, I'm just like, I don't love it, but I can get over it. Okay, so I'll just do like a little bit like that. I am using the lightest shade of Chocolate Mousse, taking my usual Makeup by Mario brush. I just don't know if I love that color. It's a little confusing to me because these are supposed to be a bronzing stick, but whenever I see a stick like this, I want to contour with it. But bronzer, you know, you do want to place a little bit higher up on your cheeks, not necessarily like underneath to contour anything. I feel like I heard pretty good things about these, but also I just feel like people got over them pretty quickly. I think I'd be more likely to use the Makeup by Mario serum over something like this. Okay, so that is the bronzer stick. I think it's okay. Again, this is only my second time using it, so I don't have much of an opinion right now, but I mean, it definitely bronzed. It was easy to blend. It's fine. And that's all I have to say. Next are the new Bare Minerals liquid face products. So we have the Complexion Rescue Bronzer, which is supposed to be the gel liquid version of the powder bronzer. And then the Complexion Rescue Highlighting Blush, which again is a liquid gel version of their highlighting blush powders. And I love the powder version of these products. So when I received these ones in PR, I was like, okay, I'm kind of intrigued by these. Now I think I've only used this twice before, so I'm still not entirely sure on my thoughts on it, but again, I want to apply it with you guys. So they did send me all the shades of the liquid bronzer, and I only kept one of them because I have tried all of the powder versions and there's only one of them that I like, so I kept the one shade Kiss of Pink. So I have now the liquid and the powder. I'm going to show you these two side by side so we can see how the shades look. So again, the shade is Kiss of Pink. Here is the liquid and then the powder. These both do look really pretty. So I think I would apply these similarly to the way that I do the Makeup by Mario bronzer, where I kind of work my brush into the product. So I'm going to squeeze some out on the back of my hand and just kind of work my brush into that. And here we go. Ooh, that is a really pretty color. But I already knew that because I like the Kiss of Pink color. And again, this product is called a bronzer, so it's supposed to be a mix of a blush and a bronzer together, so it really does have more of that kind of bronziness tone to it, which I do really like. It's just kind of like a one and done little product, something that's really easy to apply. It does have a really nice luminous finish. It blended out really easily. It feels a little bit sticky. So I feel like this is kind of the product that you don't want to set because you want to have that luminous finish that it gives you. So I think this would be another product that I like to wear on more of a no makeup day, where I pop on a skin tint and then something like this on top for my blush and bronzer. Now next is the Complexion Rescue Highlighting Blush. Now again, I love the powder version of this. I have used this in so many of my videos. I specifically love the shade Rose Glow, so of course I kept that one in the liquid version. Now I actually haven't tried this product yet. I've only tried the bronzer version, so I'm not really sure what to expect here, but here we go. That's really pink. Ooh, okay, so that's what that looks like. It really has more of like a cool toned kind of pinkness to it. It actually kind of looks kind of cool with my hair. So because this is a highlighting blush, I don't want to apply it all over, so I might just kind of take what's on my finger, just kind of use my finger and like tap that in, and then maybe blend that out with my sponge a little bit. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more on my sponge. I don't really know if it's showing up very pink at all. I think just more kind of glowy. Okay, the pink is very, very subtle. I am seeing a little bit of it kind of right in here. I don't really know if that's doing a lot for me because when I use the powder version of this, I like to use this to kind of merge my blush and highlighter into one, hence the name Highlighting Blush. And I feel like I'm just getting a lot more highlighter out of this and not a lot of blush, but definitely a lot of glow. I did also keep two other shades of this though. I have Pink Glow and Opal Glow, so let's swatch these out. They're a little bit tricky to see, but this is Pink, Opal, and Rose Glow. I actually think I might like Pink Glow more. Would it be crazy to try Pink Glow on top? I mean, I'm gonna take this off anyways. See here, I'm adding Pink Glow on top for funsies. Do not like how these are layering up on top of each other. Like my face feels sticky. Like it feels like my brush is kind of like sticking to my face. It's really not that blushy. It's definitely way more on the highlighter side of things. Okay, I like the bronzer, not too sure if I like the highlighting blush liquid. If you've made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for just being here and applying blushes with me. Oh, and if you want to know what foundation I've been applying over and over, it's the Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow. And I've actually really like how it looks today. But I got two more products to talk about here. One of them the internet loves and the other one the internet hates. So that is the Bare Minerals Buttermelt Blushes and the Rare Beauty Blushes. Let's start with the good one, and that is the NYX Buttermelt Blush. I also do have the bronzer here, and I did buy these myself. These have been out for probably a couple months now, but I've had such a hard time getting my hands on them. I've been to a few Ultas around me and none of them ever had any shades in stock. I tried buying it online and it came completely shattered, and then I just recently did another Ulta order and I got them and they are not shattered. Now I've only used this blush twice now, but every time I use it I am like shocked by how beautiful it is. So I have this pink shade Butter Together. So I'm going to show you just how beautiful this is. And honestly, even after the first time I applied these, I was like, oh yeah, I understand the hype for sure. They give such a beautiful sheen to the skin. They're not a completely matte blush, but it's not overly glowy or anything. And I think these are like 10 bucks a piece. I think they had a pretty good range of shades too. And I've just been so impressed with this, especially applying this right now on an unset base. Like that just looks so beautiful. I almost feel like it's kind of blurring my pores a little bit too. Like for 10 freaking dollars, this is great. I understand the hype. I recommend this. I still think I have some of that Too Faced bronzer on my forehead, but let me just show you the bronzer. I have the lighter shade Buttercup, and these are decently pigmented, and this lightest shade is a little bit deep. Like I feel like they could have gone a little bit lighter, but wow, it just blends in so beautifully. And I just love how the bronzer has that little bit of a kind of rosy tone to it. It's not yellow, it's not orange. It's just beautiful. I can already tell that these are going to become a favorite of mine. Now we're going to end this video on a product I really don't like and I think I regret buying, and I bought two of them, and it is the Rare Beauty powder blushes. Now again, like so many other people, when Rare Beauty announced powder glowy blushes, I was like, oh my gosh, immediately yes, I'm going to buy those when they launch. So I bought two shades. I have Cheer and Hope. Now I have tried to make these work for me. The shade Hope just really does not work. It's just way too much. So I've tried to make Cheer work and it's just not good looking. This one is Cheer and this one is Hope. These really are just like pink highlighters. They are way too glowy. Like that's why I wanted to compare it next to the NYX, because you can see this beautiful sheen. Now I'm going to show you what this one looks like. So I'm actually going to switch to a much fluffier brush because you really don't want to load up too much of this product. All right, I'm picking some of that up. And then I always like to tap off a little bit on the back of my hand here. So I'm first going to apply this as blush because it really is called a powder blush. Okay, wait, did I just lie to you? Because I actually like how that looks. Is it because I switched brushes? Because pretty much every time I wear blush, I always use this Sigma F11, but I switched to this one just because I saw like a TikTok of Selena the other day putting on this blush, and she was using like a giant fluffy brush to apply it. And now I'm kind of like, oh, is that the answer to all my problems? Or is it too glowy? I am just very glowy right now overall. Was I just talking all that shit and then it's like, oh, just change your application style? I'm like shocked right now. Okay, wait, let me try it with my regular brush that I usually use. Does this one just pack on too much color? Like, was I just layering on too much? Because I do have a heavy hand with my blush. Yeah, I think it's the brush that's the problem. I think this brush just put on way too much product, because before I just did the application, I liked it a lot, but now I'm like, whoa, I'm seeing a lot of a shift on my cheek right now. I'm just gonna try adding Hope on top of it. This might look really wrong. I feel like the shade's just a little bit too mauve-y. Yeah, see, now I'm just overdoing it, but again, I'm taking this off anyways. I feel like Cheer might have just redeemed itself for me. And that's the tricky thing with this product, is when you have to find like different ways to make it work, which is kind of frustrating at first, but I kind of like it. Like, what if I just add a little bit of Cheer on top of my NYX one? because I saw her like sweeping it. And by her, I mean Selena Gomez. She was like sweeping it on her cheekbone. Okay, so I think I am gonna keep Cheer in my collection. I really like how this applied with the fluffy brush, so I'm not gonna write it off just yet. I really thought I was gonna like end its life today. Nope, it is gonna live another day in my collection. All right, that is going to wrap up this video. I talked about so many blushes today. If you've tried any of these, I would love to know your thoughts on them. Or if you're just interested in trying some of them, I would love to know your thoughts. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.